Hello, everybody. My name is Jermaine Smith. Today I will be talking about the dangers of concussions in the sport of football. First off, I wanted to explain how concussion is the most type of traumatic injury in the sport. There are many symptoms that can follow, including depression, in some cases death, and other things like that. Based on my research, I've based on my research, I've read that regardless of the level of play, whether it be high school, whether it be college, or professional, concussions can range in ages of players and cause different types of injuries depending on the player, depending on the person, depending on their health. I will, over the next couple of minutes, I will also give you examples of different type of players from different levels of play, the injuries that happened to them, and the effect it had on them actually playing the sport. First, there's the story of Adam Melka. He was a 15-year-old high school football player who came close to death after suffering a devastating hit twice within one game within a small period of time that almost took his life. And one of the things that caused such an alarm in the coaches is that, you know, he had started playing, he had took a devastating hit, and at first he seemed like he was fine, but started throwing up, and which is a usual symptom of having a concussion. And eventually he was rushed to the hospital and wouldn't be allowed to return to the sport for a very long time. Next, there is Dennis Byrd, which I have a picture of. He's a former NFL football player for the New York Jets. He was considered to be, you know, a top player, and with his issue, he was paralyzed from the neck down after a head-to-head contact with another player. And what makes his story so special is he was told he would never be able to walk again, and eventually would. But he's written a book, which a lot of my information I've received from, just because it's a person that went through the same thing, and it's their first-hand experience of the concussions they got, what processes were taken to try to help him get back to his normal life. There was also Peter Cronin, who had a productive college and professional career, but he explains to psychologists, doctors, why he had to leave the sport early because his constant memory loss and, you know, the constant headaches he received after leaving the game, and he left the game pretty early. The next story is of a 12-year-old. His name is Kyle Lipio, and he would actually die on a hospital bed after a game because of a concussion he received during a middle school game, and that caused a lot of panic in the sports world, and a lot of parents were just distressed because they felt that, you know, a lot more can be done. Multiple concussions, if left untreated, they can lead to many things, dementia, and there's been a connection with concussions and Alzheimer's in football players that have played over a long period of time, which, you know, it's very alarming that something so serious can happen from something that someone might only have symptoms from over a couple of seasons, and something that doesn't seem that big at that time. It was also discovered that 2 or more concussions can, over a long period of time, can lead to impairment, and long-term impairment, and the amount of time it takes your brain to process stuff. Many of the players in the National Football League feel that their concussions go unnoticed, whether actually in all levels of play, feel that their concussions go unnoticed, and because they're playing at such a fast pace that it's hard to tell whether or not they've had one because the symptoms vary a lot. I found this actually interesting, which is a report that was done by the Center for the Study of Retired Athletes at the University of North Carolina, a very big accredited university, showed that there had been more than 3 times the rate of clinically diagnosed depression in retired football players from the National Football League, which seems to still be rising at an alarming rate. You know, after presenting you with this information, I hope that you have a better insight of concussions in the sport, and I hope that you have a better understanding of regardless of the age, the time played, and the level of play, that anybody can be at risk for receiving a concussion. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it. Thank you.